Shooter ready. Stand by.
All right, Keith, what I want to ask you is what everybody wants to know, like the details of how you load this shotgun. Let's scoot back out of the rain a little bit.
All right.
And let's start with like the grab. I'm going to film up close. I want to see the stuff up close.
Okay.
You do this stuff so damn fast, then we can tell what the fuck you're doing.
So with the shotgun, what I want to do, in this position when I'm shooting, all I want to do is break it off the shoulder and turn the gun over so I can see the port. I'm not going to break my shooting grip. I'm just going to just enough to see the port. A lot of people are worried about getting it straight up and down like this, and they move their hand. That's fine. If you need it, it's okay. Me personally, I just want to get it to here so I can see it. I can see my target.
You want to be firm under here, back here.
Yeah, I want to lock it in underneath my arm here so I got a good stable platform so I can be moving and the gun will be stable.
Okay.
When I go for the grab, I got Safariland caddies here. I got 20 rounds on my chest. Economy of motion. I come straight back. My thumb is only going to cover the round that I'm going to shove in. That's going to be the outside set here. I'm going to grab them. I'm going to pull them straight out, and I'm going to squeeze. I'm not just going to baby them. I'm not going to try and hold them lightly. I want to squeeze them hard all the way through the load. If you don't, you tend to jostle around in your hand, especially after you're inserting the first two, and you lose grip on the second two.
Okay.
What I think about when I go to insert, I'm going to look right at that follower or the brass of the shell that's in there.
So right in this area.
Right in front of the carry, and I'm going to push. And I'm going to follow through, because if I follow through in training, then I'm going to follow through when I get under stress. I know I'm going to tighten it up a little bit in a match, but if I think about following through, it does a couple things. The rounds go in and don't pop back out, and my hand naturally goes right up to the forend, so I come back out and shoot again.
Now, the biggest thing that messes up people is the second set.
The second set,
because
a lot of times they lose tension on the shells. You grab them. You get up here, they're all concentrating on that first set.
Okay.
They get it up there, they start to push it in, and what happens is a lot of times they don't keep their hand flat against the receiver, and they'll allow these shells to start getting wonky, and they start tipping up in the middle, and then you wind up with them popping out.
Okay.
Okay?
And you don't want to try to drive your thumb in there. You want to keep your thumb outside.
If you watch my thumb closely here, it never went inside.
Okay.
Okay?
Because it's cut away enough.
If it's cut away properly, like Taran, like how you do it here, at TTI, so I can see that brass, I never have to shove my thumb in that gun, because shoving my thumb in that gun slows me down.
Okay. Let's do another set of 4, and let's like walk you through the mindset of just keeping those rounds and how your hand is angled into the receiver and all that stuff.
I'm coming in here, I'm grabbing these rounds, I'm going to squeeze really hard. I'm coming in straight and flat. I'm pushing through, readjusting, and pushing through my hand.
I've heard some guys say you want to stab downward into the gun.
Nope, I don't stab downward in the gun. Because what happens is you're going to have a hard stop. And it's just like taking your hand with shells in it and punching something. What's going to happen? It's going to jostle the other shells.
Yeah.
So why don't I just flow through it and keep myself from having that hiccup right in the middle where my hand stops and starts again. This way I can flow through it. I push, circle around, push again. The rounds go in, they don't pop back out. I don't purposely, or not on purpose, knock the other shells loose because of that hard stop.
And you're trying to keep your hand across the top, not letting it stack above.
Yeah, I want my hand flat on there as I can get it.
Okay. All right, let's give details. Let's see it in slow motion. All right, Keith, we're gonna get up close and personal. Watch your raging technique. Go ahead, Christy.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
All right, round 2.
Shooter ready. Stand by. Whoa.
All right, one more.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
Looks pretty straightforward. So
As
your
long as they go in the gun,
your
you're in business.
Your mindset again is just holding them tight
You got to squeeze them, got to push them in, go deep.
and go.
Hands to me.
Do one more a slow load, like the technique one more time.
Yeah, clear this out.
Yeah.
Hi. I feel like you and I just got the same shot. Except for
You practice going further past, but I notice when you're really going, you don't go that far.
Well, that's the thing. You practice going deep, going past your point of no return, circling back around, because when you start speeding up, you're naturally going to become more tense. Same thing happens with anything you do. When the timer goes off, you tend to tighten it up. Your muscles tighten up.
Yeah.
So if you practice extending, pushing through, then you're better off. When your muscles contract and you're trying to do it fast, you'll more likely get them in there, because people who just stop and start, then they find that the rounds start popping back out in the match.
Okay. Thanks for the info. You're awesome.
Very cool.
So I'm going to go through the motions of what I do when I quad load. I do the weak hand quad load. Watched a lot of guys, learned over the years, different styles. I kind of waited a little bit longer before I really knocked it down and got it locked in my brain, because there's some techniques that were really weird at first. Guys talking about jabbing the round straight down, then turning, going in, holding the gun way up in the air, going 50 feet past the forearm. A lot of things like that. As of recently, had Keith Garcia come out, really went over the details. They really coincided with what I was doing. Noticed some stuff he was doing. I kind of Jeet Kune Do stuff my entire shooting career. All the things I've seen in shooting, I just take the best of what I like from my style and put it into what I'm going to do. So at this point, for quad loading, I think this technique I'm going to show you is as good as it is for right now. Maybe later some spaceman from England will come up with some insane thing where he goes out of his mouth into the loading port or whatever. But this is what I think works the best for me right now. I'm not really into this thing. I'm not against it. I know the girls love it. It's great. And it's just as fast as anything out there. Just for me, I like to do everything with my left hand. All the loading left-handed, weak hand, whatever you want to call it. That's just my way. Pistols, rifles, shotguns. And so this is how I do it. I'm going to go really slow at first. So I'm shooting, boom, boom, boom. I go to reload. I bring it in tight, up under my armpit, and it's snug this way. I can move. I can walk. At the exact same time, as I bring the gun in, I'm going to flip it with my hand on top like this. Some guys let go and do this thing. You don't really need to. As long as you radius this edge down on certain shotguns, that way you can bring it in. So I'm going to bring it in, flip it over. Looking at the loading port area, I've asked a lot of questions with the top guys what they look at. What I look at, some guys aim down here and go in. That's why we have that cutout. Kind of helps when you bring the rounds back to hit that little channel there on the Benelli M2 and M1s or whatever. I'm looking at this area here. So as I bring it back, my left hand goes for the reload. And I want to feel my thumb on top of the set of shells here, right here. So I've got my thumb on the first set like that, and I'm going to pull them out, hold them tight, and just try to keep the hand this way. Mistakes people make is getting the rounds like this, and just throw them in. Next set comes back, and throw them in. Don't have the thumb jabbing into the hole. If your gun is cut out the proper way, which is pretty much this one here, a lot of other guys do a good job too. I'm kind of going like this. I don't need to go inside. It's not a stock gun. So that's pretty much it. When I do the second set, same thing. Shove them in aggressively. Go past a little bit. This is the ones where you get messed up. Hold these tighter than you think you need to. Shove them in. As they're going in, I'm going back up on target, and I'm ready to shoot again. And that's pretty much it. Simple, stupid, like me. So we'll go through the motions again. So I'm shooting, boom, boom, boom. Bring it in, grab, in, back on again. So I'll do one more. So just trying to be smooth. The thing about 3-gun matches, everybody thinks they gotta be a YouTube god, have these insane reloads, which isn't fun, it's cool, it's great to be good at that, but 99% of the 3-gun matches, you're gonna have space to load. They're not gonna set up with 8,000 rounds right in your face. You wanna be as fast as you can, but you wanna be smooth. Trying to gain a quarter second and dropping rounds and fumbling is not worth it. You've got plenty of room to move. Just move aggressively. You don't really got to run with a shotgun that often. It's very rare you see anybody running with a shotgun. Unless it's some big whack job stage where you got to run a million miles and you can run a quad load or whatever. But you want to take aggressive steps when you move. Have the gun in tight and watch what you're doing. There's no point in looking all over the place. It's good to do it in the dark. You want to be badass and be some raging Josh Kinney. Figure it out. Do that. But you want to be smooth, cover ground. You can see your peripheral vision. You can see the courses you're moving. Get your loads done and get back up, and don't miss. Shotgun shooting and winning competitions and championships with a shotgun. Not going bat out of hell, having pickup shots everywhere and using your match saver every 2 seconds. It's about getting your hits. You don't got to be a snail, but just seeing a little bit of that green or red fiber optic or whatever you're using on the plate somewhere, and you'll get your hits. So that's my theory on quad loading. I'm sure a year from now it'll be totally different, possibly. I doubt it, but that's what I'm into right now.